White Sox team can have a really decent season in a really bad division. That's what you guys have to remember. It's a really bad division.
It is.
That's
what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
You have your scab-eating OC holding you back, calling two of the same screenplays in a row during one game, and having you throw two passes, which I was corrected by, one pass in the fourth quarter of a game you were the best player in. Fight me!
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. Bullshit.
a good organization would do. But this is the Bears, not a good organization. So they're going to keep Ryan Poles.
Why?
We just feel our disappointment. That's all.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Between the Bears and the Bears.
Yeah, we do it. We do it when it's still warm outside.
Right, yeah.
We can get out like October, beginning November. Still like 50, 60 degrees. Nowadays, it's still like 70 degrees.
And that way, during the winter, we're still so angry that everything's warm.
And welcome to the best damn sports show in the Windy City. It's your boys, Combs and Fitz. Woo! My guy, Ryan Fitz Gibbons. What's going on, brother?
If it plays, it's gibberish is going on, Combs.
Hell.
Oh, yeah. It's a diatribe, it's a conspiracy theory, and it's an island in the middle of unapologetic and sometimes inaccurate sports talk. We haven't had enough time to be inaccurate, but it took me a while to get the sounder up.
Fail. We had this great plan to surprise everybody with Fitz gibberish right off the bat. I said, when I introduce you, hit the music, and instead he just fails.
Oh, yeah. Failure. It's the start of NFL preseason, by the way. Speaking of failure, where you start separating the men from the boys. The cream rises to the top. The best of the best are picked and the rest are cut. Fill in your large language model phrase as you like. This is where we hear about fifth round edge rushers like they're Bruce Smith and compare seventh round running backs to Barry Sanders. Do you remember watching Barry Sanders, Combs? Because sometimes it sounds like you don't.
It was good.
It sounds like you don't sometimes.
I wouldn't take him top 5, though.
Oh, God. So, of course, the entire football world is talking about a 6th round QB who landed, of all places, on the Cleveland Browns. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Tupac Shakur Sanders. And you haven't heard his short yet melodramatic NFL story, you're almost definitely not watching the show. Allow me to summarize. Dad thinks boy is best QB prospect ever, ignoring his long throwing motion, the fact he played most of his career in the bad Big 12, and had a penchant for even worse mistakes when playing against premier talent.
LeVar Ball?
Archie Manning? Dad shows off a little too much, says they are going to pick the team he goes to in the draft, and Dad ruins the start of his son's football career that should have been bright. No, we're not talking about Archie Manning or LeVar Ball. We are talking about Deion Sanders, who's turned into the football coaching equivalent to the one-night stand you wanted to leave before breakfast, and yes, stays till dinner. Now, I've always liked Deion. Since the days of do-rags and realizing his name rhymed with neon. Oh, the early 90s. I miss them. But lately, he's turned every gentle pushback from a reporter into a war. Like a boxer who gets hit in the mouth and acts like he's not hurt. Dude, if you weren't hurt, you wouldn't have said anything. Anyway, I like how he stuck it to the man with the transfer portal and showed new and intelligent ways to build one of the best sports and largest sports communities in Boulder, Colorado. Although, half of the state is 90% of the time high. Watching Nick Saban cry about the transfer portal is worth the price of admission. Either way, Deion's mercurial post-football playing celebrity to me has been more gold than fool. That was until he helped mess up his son's draft spot, somewhat deservedly so, and got uncharacteristically quiet right afterwards. Sure, I hate the NFL owners, their old dusty man collusion that happens all too often, as much as the next guy. Can't say I haven't dreamt of breaking Jerry Jones' hip to dust a few times, but nothing is more American right now in football, and nothing is more American than rising stars up to the heights, then crashing them into the ground. Yes, Deion should have known this from the start. When, back in the early 90s, as I said, he performed with MC Hammer on, you guessed it, do you remember it, Combs? Too Legit to Quit.
Too legit.
Too Legit to Quit, which has 24 million views on YouTube. I didn't want to play it here because I thought we'd get demonetized. But anyway.
We probably will. We probably get demonetized for saying it. As the Bears just come up with a strip sack, by the way.
All right, trip sack. Go third and fourth stringers, or guys will never play in the NFL.
Well, I hope not, because that was their defensive end Booker. Hopefully he played.
The following might be hypocritical to say, but that's Fitz gibberish. And I've talked about it for the last 5 minutes, but I'm already sick of this Shedeur Sanders storyline. There is so many more interesting things about the actual game of football we should be talking more about, but we love human interest stories. Recently, I hate to admit, I let a spider live in my car for over a month. When I wasn't in it, I'd come back and it would undoubtedly string webs all over my car. I was kind of sad when it died. Crazy, yes, but not overly important to the well-being of my life. Save your questions for after the Fitz gibberish. Yes, that's probably what you're going to remember about this gibberish, but it's not important. Anyway, Shedeur Sanders will not be important to the NFL this year, and it's doubtful it will be important to the Cleveland Browns, who are somehow a worse version of the Bears organization, if that's possible. Can we please get over it and talk about football? You know, the actual sports we're supposed to be watching. Taylor Swift. This is Fitz gibberish.
Yeah, man. Look, there's been a lot of the Shedeur Sanders stuff. And if you remember back before the draft, I think we both said the same thing, but I didn't think any of these quarterbacks were ready to be quarterbacks in the NFL. And I still feel that way. Cam Ward might be able to change my mind a little bit because he looks like he's going to start for the Titans, because why not? And Tyson Bagent might be starting for the Colts week 1. We'll never know. Well, we will know at some point. But I don't understand the Shedeur Sanders hype. Like, at some point, you just have to realize, hey, this kid is what he is. He's a kid who fell to the 5th round in the draft, that some people thought he was a first-round draft pick, which he really wasn't, but they were trying to turn him into one. And there's been a lot of people that have were trying to drive things home, and we're trying to push narratives and all this stuff, and it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't a thing. We talked about it actually today on our show on the BetMGM network, right? Yeah. And on that show, we talked about I shouldn't say we. Sean Marash talked about the overhypeness of that. So let me see if I can actually share that with you here, because I think you'll like what he had to say here. If I can.
Yeah, and you got well while you're bringing that up, yeah, I mean, I didn't get it either. He's got a very long arm throw that actually ends up on the top of his head, which is not good for when you have to throw the ball in 2 seconds, when it takes half a second to throw the ball. I mean, we saw this with Justin Fields. I mean, that was Justin Fields' one of his worst problems.
Right. Yeah,
He had a long throwing motion. We've seen this with a lot of different quarterbacks where it just doesn't work out either. And he was playing against subpar talent. Don't show me his stats.
Right.
I mean, I'll show you Justin Fields' stats because he played for Ohio State.
Right.
Much competition he's going against. But
well, let me play this for you here. It's Sean Marash here talking on the BetMGM network about the same exact thing.
Major media Tim Tebow vibes coming out Friday night with Shedeur Sanders. I mean, so many people, and Josina Anderson being the biggest one, I think, of all, just dunking on the idea of, well, that's it. You know, Shedeur Sanders versus the Carolina Panthers on Friday night has proven how big a mistake certain teams made, namely my New York Giants, as they were called out onto the carpet. First of all, don't make me say these words because it's unfair to Shedeur Sanders. A, it is only one preseason game, no matter what it is. And that's part of it, right? We're going to overreact, underreact at times. It is still only one preseason game. Shedeur Sanders, and I know that those stats have been going out. Look at Brady Quinn's first game. But I'm not even doing that to take a shot at Shedeur Sanders because I liked him. Shedeur Sanders entered the building on Friday night with his legendary chain and with a guy next to him and a boombox blaring like he was the entire 49er team about to be taken out on the field. That is the kind of stuff, the extracurricular stuff outside of the football, which wasn't totally clean on tape, is exactly why many of these teams let him walk. Need I remind everybody who waved the Shedeur pom-poms? The Browns themselves took a quarterback before they took Shedeur Sanders in this draft by the name of Dylan Gabriel in the third round. And I thought the Shedeur Sanders discourse was almost unfair to him, was embarrassing. And that is exactly why he fell in the draft. Unfortunately, every time he plays well, we're going to have this. It's nonsense.
So that was Sean Marash talking about it on our show this morning. I thought it was relevant when she brought this up because he's right, man. Like we bring up this stuff and we bring up these guys when they just because of what their last name is. Same thing with Arch Manning. Arch Manning, he played a couple of games last year for Texas. He looked okay, but he's the front runner to win the Heisman this year. Texas is ranked number one in the SEC. They're expected to win the SEC. I think they might actually be ranked number one in all of college football in the preseason rankings now as well. We haven't seen enough from him, but his last name is Manning, so they're gonna blow it up, and I get tired of it. I didn't think that Shedeur Sanders was a first round draft pick. I said it before the draft. I didn't think he was a third round draft pick. Now, were there some quarterbacks that got taken ahead of him that I thought maybe he was better than? Sure, but it was also a really bad quarterback draft class. So. Terrible. Dude, I'm with you. And it's not going to go away. I mean, as the season goes, because the Cleveland Browns are going to be terrible. That quarterback room is terrible. You're going to hear this all season long, and you're going to hear the narrative. Oh, they're not. Can we stop with the narrative of we don't want him to be successful because he's a black quarterback? Like, just stop. I mean, all the racial undertones on Twitter during his
Cunningham.
Dude, how many successful black quarterbacks are there in the league right now? Holmes.
Warren Moon played like 40 years ago. Dude,
but even look at all of the successful black quarterbacks that we have now. Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, who's got 2 MVPs. Patrick Mahomes, who has never not been to an AFC title game, and he's been to 5 Super Bowls already. He was going for a 3-peat already. It's not that we want everybody to be successful. We want the quarterbacks that get drafted to be successful, but don't be mad at us when we're honest that they're not going to be that good. And then when they play on the field, they prove to us that they're just not that damn good. And that's what Shedeur did this weekend, playing against second and third stringers. He showed that he was an average quarterback at best.
Yeah, and all of his good plays, if you look at his highlights, are off schedule. None of them are from the pocket. None of them are a great read. Everything's from half the field. Like, watch the games. This is all from like people who don't watch the sport that much. He's not. Yeah, I mean, could he end up working at it and being good? Sure. Yes, it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. Should he be a top story? No. There's other players and other interesting things that I want to learn about the league, and this sucks all the oxygen out of the room all too much. I'm just sick of how everything turns into the same thing in this country. Like everything turns into like a media, like reality show when it doesn't have to be that. Like we don't have to do this anymore. Like let's get over it and move on already. Like we're in the I'm sorry, we do a podcast. We're in the podcast internet stage where we like to take deep dives on things. I don't want to look at this crap anymore about a guy who we it might not ever be anything. And he's playing for an organization that is terrible.
Yes.
That is way worse than the Bears. Like, do you think he's going to rise up through it? And then, Deion Sanders saying he's going to be a problem for the league. And
if he does rise up through it, great. Like, I'd be happy to watch it. It would be
a great story. Yes. Prove me wrong then. That's fine. Prove me wrong. But I think he made a great comparison that I missed and would be something I would say. Tim Tebow. In a different way, this is like the Tim Tebow, Tim Tebow was never going to be a good quarterback, even when he won a playoff game. He won a playoff game on basically a screen pass to Brandon Marshall, who is one of the most talented wide receivers ever to play the game. So and had a super talented, I forgot the tight end he had too, and the running back there, but super talented offensive team he had behind him. And he was still terrible. And they won one playoff game and it was like, oh, Tim Tebow is going to be great. No, he did not have the arm strength. There was a million other things he didn't have. He couldn't read a defense. And maybe Shedeur Sanders, I think, has more talent to be a quarterback than Tim Tebow did. It's a similar story, and it's just like I'm kind of sick of it. But I did write about 5 or 6 paragraphs about it. So,
and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? It's kind of a perfect segue into the Bears, right? Because it's you look at what they're doing today, right? And not playing Caleb Williams in a lot of the first team offense, and people are up in arms. Not everybody, but there are people who are up in arms about, don't you think that I saw actually Clay Harbor tweeted about it today. I can't believe that they don't think that they could benefit from reps from the first team, right? And I respect Clay Harbor. I like Clay Harbor. We have him on our show on BetMGM tonight from time to time. I like the thing. Actually, we just had him on Thursday. I like the things that he talks about. He's very knowledgeable about the game. He played in the NFL for 9 years. But why in this world would you have him go out there when you know, and we all know, and we've seen the tape and we've heard the reports that he's been struggling with some stuff out of the playbook in camp. And you're going to put him in a situation where, hey, maybe he's not fully caught up yet. Maybe he's getting there. I've seen some really good throws in camp. I've seen some really bad throws in camp. That's what training camp is for. But why would you put him in a position to go out and I'm not saying it would have happened, but if it happens and they go out and he has the same first 2 or 3 possessions that Tyson Bagent has, and now all of a sudden we're killing him for the same thing that we might be saying, oh, that was okay from Tyson Bagent because he's a backup. We would be killing Caleb Williams for. Why would you put your guy in that position? I actually thought it was a really good move by Ben Johnson, a really smart move by Ben Johnson to say, hey, we're going to work on things this morning, which they did before the game. They're going to work on things on Monday in camp, which they will, and they're going to work throughout the week, and we'll see Caleb Williams for a quarter next week. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think it's a really smart move by Ben Johnson. There was no need to put Roma Dunze out there, DJ Moore out there, Caleb Williams out there. Let's see what Luther Burden has. Let's see what Kyle Monangai has. Let's see what all of these other guys that we drafted, let's see what they have before we go out there. And by the way, Braxton Jones still getting beat on plays off the line.
Shocker. Is he?
Well,
let's not get to left tackle right now. I just don't want to do that again today.
He might lose his starting job.
There's
a rumor out there that he is not the starting left tackle out of camp.
That Ozzie is.
Yes.
Trapillo.
Yep.
Ozzie Trapillo is going to be, yeah.
You drafted in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a good transition into the Bears because Caleb Williams is sort of gets like the Shador treatment a little bit, Shador Sanders treatment with some of the publicity that doesn't really make any sense at all that he gets. I mean, it was always going to be hard. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago that it's probably not going to look good for the first couple of weeks. Do you know who else might not look good for the first couple of weeks? I'm talking regular season. The Eagles might not, and they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Even though they look great in their preseason game, their backup quarterback's going to be awesome, great, good for Philadelphia. They can fuck themselves. But I mean,
Tell me how you really feel.
yeah, but there's some team. This is just how the NFL is. I mean, that's why get your bets in the first 4 or 5 weeks because it's going to be chaos. You can get really lucky in those weeks because no one knows what the hell's going on. There's going to be a couple teams we never guess that are going to be good. It happens every year. And it happens to teams that have been playing together for a while. So why does
the season the Giants are going to beat the Bills 34-25?
Who said that?
Do you think that's what happened yesterday in the first preseason game?
Yeah. No, but still, in the first regular season, there could be crazy scores like that in the first couple regular season games because they don't practice with pads anymore. They're not ready to go really game one. A lot of
Ben Johnson's camp.
It's not. Yeah, no, it's been a little crazy over there. I don't know how some of that is legal, but we can talk more about that. But the teams just aren't sharp in the first 2 or 3 games of the season anymore. It just doesn't work that way anymore. So to think that Ben Johnson is going to come in here and it's just going to work right away, that was never going to be how it was going to go. And I think Ben Johnson is smart enough to not throw everything at this kid.
Temper expectations.
Yeah, and and make sure that they play that he at least has plays to play well and to win games, but at the same time teaching them what the offense is. I don't know why Doubting Thomas is optimistic on the Bears.
And this is what you're looking at with,
and he's putting the bad guy from The Fugitive up there as his profile picture. I have no idea why.
That's not a Notre Dame. It's not, but this is where Aubrey is going to be going to college. So just supporting, gotta support
rivalry there.
No, that's because I'm a Notre Dame fan. He's Junior's. I don't even think he is a fan of college football, but just supporting. You know what I mean? And look, they've got one of the greatest traditions in all of college football as well. Iowa does the wave to the Children's Hospital after the end of the first quarter, while the Children's Hospital waves back. Phenomenal stuff. But yeah, no, I'm optimistic on the Bears too, but by being optimistic is 9-8. That's being optimistic, right? And so, I think that this Bears team can be good, and I think that it's going to take time. Do I think that there's a possibility that they come storming out of the gate and they're 3-1 or 4-0? Absolutely, there's a possibility when you look at this schedule, right? But then there's also a possibility that after starting 3-1 or 4-0, that they end up 4-5. You have to temper expectations. You have to know what you have in this team. And I like the preseason to be able to watch guys like Noah Sewell and see what we have. I like being able to watch Austin Booker on a strip sack in the third quarter to put you within 5 yards of the end zone. I like watching that stuff because I like seeing how these guys play. I also like knowing whether or not Braxton Jones has improved, and he clearly has not. So now I understand why when I'm hearing out of training camp that Ozzie Trapillo might emerge as your starting left tackle. Now I understand why, because they clearly missed on Braxton Jones. Missed on it.
I don't think it's. I mean, what is he, a 5th round pick? I think that's the miss. Is now giving him a 4th year of reps and not having another guy in there to play the position. In my mind, is what is my problem with Braxton Jones is really not drafting a left tackle. I mean, Ozzie Trapillo. I don't know why I'm in trouble with that fucking name. But anyway, Trapillo.
Wanted to be Hispanic for
He
some reason,
really
'cause
isn't. I mean, he's sort of a left tackle. He's giant, but he didn't play a lot of left
Yeah.
tackle. What did you say?
Yeah,
No,
I
what
said
did
because his first name's Ozzy, you want his last name to be Hispanic. You wanna
Yes,
say a Trujillo.
Ian.
Yeah. It's Trapillo.
I
Um,
can't wait to talk about the White Sox, by the way, but let's not.
neither can I actually, because they're actually the more fun baseball team to talk about right now in this town, and we never thought that was gonna happen this year.
But
It happened.
but anyway, yeah, I mean, that's my problem is putting all this time and investment and years into Braxton Jones when a lot of people, we already knew that at best, with all the teaching and all of his effort and everything he could do, he might just be okay.
Yeah.
And really, he's coming off an injury, so obviously, if he's at all physically, disabled, for lack of a better term, then he's not gonna be good. He's gonna
No, but Jed Hoyer would trade for him.
and
Sorry. Bears. We're talking Bears. So,
yeah, I mean, that's my problem with it is that now they do have some backup plans. Now, you got Amagaji,
Yep.
who was pretty terrible last year, but I think you put him in a bad situation last year. I mean, I don't think anybody could have been good in that situation, but I just think it's man, to already be talking that Braxton Jones doesn't look good does not bode well.
But see, wouldn't you rather be talking about it now than in week 4 or week 5? Because that's where I'm at. Like the things with Caleb, like the viral video where he throws his hands up in the air and walks away from the drill. They show that part of it, but I saw it in one other spot where they actually show he goes back to the drill about 20 minutes later and he just nails it. You know what I mean? Like, and he's hitting every throw and but a lot of people aren't showing that. They're showing the hands up in the air and, oh, look at this guy, he's a diva. But how about the pass that he throws the other day in training camp where he throws it sidearmed around a defender blindly, splits 3 defenders and hits his wide receiver in the hand. You just see his head come poking out like this. Like, that was a phenomenal throw. You have to take the good with the bad, and this is where you want him to make mistakes, is in training camp. This is what we're supposed to be. It's not what we saw last year on HBO. Okay, that wasn't reality. Like, not everything is all hunky-dory. I love hearing the stuff that I'm hearing from Ben Johnson. I love hearing the stuff that I'm hearing from the coaching staff. I love hearing the stuff that I'm hearing from the players. I love the way Caleb Williams laughed about it when they asked him about the viral video the other day. It's all a part of it.
I want to be thrown in the fire here too, and not be singing and having meetings that make no sense. And then Eberflus is talking to Nick Saban for some reason on how to coach an NFL team when Nick Saban left his NFL team.
Ben Johnson comes out week 1 with a new goatee and a fresh haircut. I quit.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
Hey, you and Jeremiah loved that haircut.
This OT.
You loved it last year.
I ate it up. I did. Not going to lie. But that's why I won't let it happen again, though. That's why I won't let it. It was the first time I had ever watched Hard Knocks, and it'll be the last time I ever watch Hard Knocks.
Does Joe Tooney play left tackle this year in your mind? Is it catastrophic? Like, are we in like DEFCON 7 or
Who's your center?
8? Well, Joe Tooney is going to be your left guard, I think. Your center's Drew Dahlman, remember?
Yeah.
The Falcons. I'm just saying.
I don't want him to
left tackle last year for the Chiefs.
Yeah, no. Let's go with Ozzy Trapillo. You drafted him in the second round. All the reports are that he looks really good in camp.
I'm just saying if it ends up where Tooney is your stopgap, like it seems
as a backup, if Trapillo gets hurt, maybe. Sure.
Like, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't work out with the other 2 players. But I think if you're in that where Joe Tooney is playing your left tackle, I think we're in trouble. I think that is going to be, the canary in the coal mine. if you see Joe Tooney playing left tackle for a long period of time this year, I think we're in trouble on the offensive line with the Bears. And if we're in trouble with the offensive line of the Bears, and I'm doing this again for 3 or 4 months, I'm going to stab you in the fucking throat. That's all I'm saying.
But they drafted a tackle. They did in the second round. They drafted Ozzie Trapillo for this reason. And I said it when they drafted him. You finally got your tackle, so shut the hell up. So now let them have their let them. Let's see. Don't go diving off the deep end, because we knew what Braxton Jones was. We called it the Braxton Shuffle. How many times did we play that play? How many times did we have to play that? Well, you know what? Sometimes you have to move on. I don't want none of the negativity coming into this season. You do not need the Braxton Shuffle anymore. That's why
I'm watching it again.
But no, well, yeah, but you're watching it in a preseason game when you're playing up against third stringers, because you're not watching as a Trapillo because the starters are sitting. That's what I like seeing, and that's fine with me. Like, I'm okay with Braxton Jones failing now.
I should feel somewhat okay about that. I would have liked to have had a guy in the first round, but Colson Loveland.
They took all the guys in the first round. All of the tackles were off the board by the top 3 tackles were off the board by the 9.
By the time they got to Loveland, and that should tell you something as the Bears GMs who have passed up on left tackles in the past, or any tackles at all in the past. That's where you have to draft them. Unfortunately,
and you never know. I mean, look at what the Chargers did. The Chargers just made their guy Rashawn Slater. They made him the highest paid left tackle of all time in the history of the game. And then he goes out week 1 in the preseason and he tears his ACL. He's out for
can't plan for injuries
no.
until artificial intelligence takes over the human race. We cannot play.
No. But what I'm getting at is that they lost their left tackle and now they're panicking. People are panicking about the Chargers. People that put out tickets on Justin Herbert to win MVP are now panicking because they're like, oh, they just lost their left tackle. That's how important a left tackle is.
Oh, yes. No, I agree. I did not know that's where you're going. But where is Joe Alt playing?
Joe Alt? Joe Alt is a right tackle.
I always thought he was going to make it at left tackle.
No, he's a right tackle.
They took him pretty high. Okay. Yeah. For me, that's a little bit of I saw him as left tackle.
No, but they drafted him because he's a right tackle, and they had Rashawn Slater already. Rashawn Slater's a beast. Rashawn Slater is one of the best left tackles in football.
Okay, I'm mistaken.
Yeah, but you go out there and you put. He probably would have played left tackle for the Bears, though.
Yes, after the Bears drafted him. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's based off team need. But I'm okay with what I'm seeing now. Like if Braxton Jones is not good enough to go against Miami's second and third string line, then I know he's not good enough to go up against anybody's first. And that's what I needed to know, and that's what we know today. And so whether or not Braxton Jones gets cut, whether or not Braxton Jones is just a third option at left tackle, in case of emergency, break glass type guy, then sure, I'm okay with it. But if we go into week 1 and Braxton Jones is your starting left tackle, I think that's when disaster is. Go into any week during this season, 1 through 17, that's when disaster hits. So I like what I'm seeing from the Bears so far. I'm not going to go out there and be like, oh, they're winning the Super Bowl, or oh, they're winning this division. I think this division is going to be one of the best in football. I think all 4 teams have a legit chance to win this division, because I think the Lions are coming back down to earth. I think that the Packers are going to be good. I think they're going to make a run at the division. I think that the Vikings, what I watched yesterday, look, I know JJ was only out there for 1 series. He attempted 7 passes. He only completed 4 of them, but 2 of them were dropped. So I was watching what I saw from him, and I think they're going to be able to replicate what they had with Sam Darnold with JJ McCarthy. And I think JJ McCarthy is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. And what I watched yesterday, I think the Vikings are a sleeper. I think people are sleeping on them and not expecting them to be very good. And I think they're going to be very good, even though Jordan Addison's going to be out for the first 3 weeks. And luckily the Bears have him in week 2.
Yeah.
Or week 1, I should say. With no Jordan Addison. I like those picks, right? And I'm watching they're showing the Bears coaching staff right now, and I'm trying to figure out why Mark Henry is on the Bears coaching staff. I don't know what the hell. I don't know who that is.
Caleb Williams is the new punky QB. We're gonna win.
Yeah.
I just
okay. I mean he better be better than that. He's got to be better than Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon was not a very good quarterback. But he was.
When are you worried about Caleb Williams? What do you get him? Where's your leash at here?
With who? With Caleb?
Yeah. Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan.
2 more years. 2 more years. Because look, if you go out this year, I look at this year as Caleb's rookie season. I do.
This organization is.
I know, but you have to throw out last year, right? You have to.
I'm going to die of a massive coronary soon, and you're throwing years of my life away like they don't matter.
But look at what he did last year with how bad it was.
My kid is an Irish boy. He's going to hate me by the time the Bears are good again.
I've got to find out who this Bears coach is.
I don't have the time.
Sexual chocolate is on our
about. This is what Chicago does to people. They age you like a freaking raisin in the sun. Like it's like I'm gonna be dead by the time any team is good. Like we were talking about earlier today. This is the only city where it's okay for teams to just rebuild every 5 years and have one good year and then rebuild again and have one good year and then rebuild again. You're still wearing 2016 Cubs championship shirts. They've been shit since then. And don't tell me, they won the division in 18. No, they didn't do crap after that World Series. The Sox didn't do crap after the 05 World Series. The Bears didn't do crap after the 85 Bears. It's been 40 damn years. They have not had a winning season since 2018, and we're still doing this. Let's wait another year. Let's give them another year. They're fucking con men over there in Hallis Hall. They are con men, and they make us do this crap where we said that they should have been good 2 years ago. If the New York Jets are good with Justin Fields,
I got news for you, buddy. Justin Fields is going to thrive in New York.
Oh my God.
I'm just telling you.
Somewhere.
I don't care.
Thomas is falling off of his recliner.
But I don't care about
Blackhawks dynasty. Blackhawks dynasty. That's what you're going to give me? The Blackhawks dynasty.
Well, they did have a dynasty. They did?
It's a decade ago now. It's a decade ago, and they have not been good since then. The exception proves the rule. Like the Chicago Sky, you are just a bad person. What is the Chicago Sky doing? Like, what are they doing?
They won a championship in the time that we started this podcast. They've been to the playoffs twice since we started this podcast.
Me and you and a bag of used diapers could make the goddamn playoffs in that league. Did you see that All-Star game? Do I have to show the highlights?
I didn't see the All-Star game.
WNBA All-Star game because you've given up on it.
Is that when the first dildo got thrown on the floor?
Even you giving up on the WNBA.
It's not that I've given up on the WNBA. I'm tired of talking about the pay thing with the WNBA. I still think that they're like, I still watch from time to time. If there's nothing else on, I'll catch the WNBA, catch some games. I still like some of the players that they have. It's still, Caitlin Clark's still fun to watch. I just, you're starting to water it down now with all of the like wearing shirts yesterday. You come out, the Chicago Sky come out with "We deserve NBA pay."
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you other than the fact that you guys are just into destroying each other. No, now it's gonna get quiet. I see all that sneaky shit you do. Ladies, if you could just support the WNBA the way you support a fat chick that's proud of her body and is no longer a threat to you, you know, that league would be doing better numbers than the NBA.
I don't agree. I've said plenty of times when I've had friends that have said, "Oh, they deserve." Oh, really? They do? How many WNBA jerseys you own?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't, like, first of all, to say that they deserve WNBA or they deserve NBA pay is asinine. Does it say they deserve the same ratio? Fine. What's 50% of negative 40 million? Because that's what the WNBA grossed last year. Negative 40 million. So the players owe the league $20 million. If they get 50% of the league, they get negative $20 million. Stop with all of this nonsense. Just play the game. Enjoy the pay that you get, because you're not getting more than that right now, because you're not making more than that right now. You made negative $40 million last year in a year where Caitlin Clark was getting everybody excited about the league. And what did you guys go and try to do? You tried to hurt her in every game. The one player that you have that everybody wants to watch.
Still
You
trying.
guys, and yes, and you keep dragging her down, and you keep dragging her down. And I've said this time and time again. I don't care how much hate I get for it. Inbox me if you want, DM me if you want. Females don't like to see other females succeed. For a vast majority of it, they just don't, and they don't support one another. Just like Bill Burr said, he's not wrong in that. You just don't like to see. How many times can you be out and you see a woman who looks nice and is all dressed up and nice, and you see another woman just dagger eye her? Like, who does she think she is? Like, stop with that. Like, it's enough. To say that these players, that the WNBA deserves as much pay as the NBA, is just asinine. And you don't understand business if you think that they deserve more money from a business that loses $40 million a year. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's
What
like
are we doing? And how the hell did we get on the WNBA?
it's I don't know. You're the one that freaking commented Chicago Sky.
Because
Babe.
that's how, yeah, that's right.
Shut
you're
up,
right.
Megan TV. Bulls won 6 in the 90s. Bulls had the best basketball player in the history of the game, maybe the best athlete in the history of sports. You don't see the Yankees saying we won a bunch of titles in the 1930s because we had Babe Ruth. Like, no, the Yankees still win. And don't tell me they never won a championship since 2008 or whenever they won a championship. They're in the playoffs every damn year.
And to make it worse,
terrible. They took that team apart, and now the Bulls have been terrible for 30 years.
And to make it worse, we're also Notre Dame fans who haven't won a national title since 1988.
Yeah. And I've had, basically 5 number 1 picks a year to be good. They have all the talent in the world, and
they just never put it together. I think that culture is starting to change a little bit, because I do believe in what Freeman's doing, and I like the direction that's going. But I mean, let's just face it. It's in this town, in this city. It's just, there's something about it to where we are resigned to, and I think it has to do with what we were talking about on the phone earlier before the show. On my way home from work today, we're talking on the phone, and what did you say? We still fill the stadiums. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
and you got a sweetheart deal with the White Sox. Like,
Yeah.
don't let the White Sox fool you that they're not making money.
But when the Cubs come to
Got a
town,
sweetheart
and
deal there.
when they have bobblehead nights, and when they have Derrick Rose coming into town, you pack the stadium. And what does that do? That grosses them money. The only way to stop is to stop going to games. And even then, they try to be. You listen to freaking Carter Hawkins and Jed Hoyer talk, which we'll talk about in a minute, and it pisses me off. They like the Rays model. Like, that's what drives you nuts. They will try to win without spending money. I hope Notre Dame never wins another championship in my lifetime. Well, I hope you get herpes.
Wow. I hope you get Provasic. Devlin McGregor. The one-armed man. You find him.
I
You
can't say
find
that
him.
because I don't want Megan to get.
Killed my wife.
Yeah.
That's from The Fugitive, anyway.
Anyway,
Man,
let's get to some baseball
the
talk.
samples.
You wanted to talk White Sox. I want to talk Cubs. But before we get to both of that, I want to talk about Jen Powell, who is the first woman umpire in Major League Baseball, who was calling balls and strikes today for the first time ever. A female umpire was calling them. And let's take a look at Jen Powell's first called strike of her career.
Today, Joey Witz is ready. We hope you're ready. And here we go.
We're not going to win any feminist awards after this podcast.
No, this has nothing to do with her being a female.
Are not going to win any. We are not going to be invited to any of their parties.
This has to do. This is not about her being a female.
This
This has to do with the fact that umpires have no idea what a strike zone is. Major league umpires have no idea what a strike zone is.
The major leagues has no idea what the strike zone is.
I wanted Jen to come.
Do not say what the strike zone is, Combs. They don't.
I know, but I wanted Jen to come in today and to have a perfect game. I wanted to come in today, have a great strike zone, so that we could be like, dude, let's have her on more games. But then what she does on the first pitch of the game, ball 6 inches inside, which goes to show
being kind.
Size doesn't really matter because you don't know what 6 inches is.
We are never having sex again, but
but I just don't know how much more you need to see as an organization, as Major League Baseball, to be like, look, we understand the umpires union has a whole bunch of power. We understand you guys don't like the idea of automated zones. We understand you don't like the idea of replay, and you have to sit there and watch your missed calls, which I love that idea, by the way. You have no accountability for your umpires. So get accountability for your umpires.
yeah.
And this, I mean, so many times, and not only that, but this looks really bad for Major League Baseball when it comes to gambling. Because how many times do you look at these umpires and like, man, that's really bad in a really bad spot. We saw a Blue Jays game the other day where they're playing against the Diamondbacks and they have the bases loaded and they're down by 1 run. They're down by 1 run, bases loaded, 3-2 count, a ball 6 inches inside, maybe even more than that, gets called for strike 3 to end the inning. It would have tied the damn game. It was ball 4. There's no reason why he would have even thought it was going to be called a strike, and it gets called strike 3. And now some guy who has, maybe $1,000 on the game, $100,000 on the game, who knows what these high rollers, just loses their bet because you call a strike. That's not a strike. That shouldn't be happening in today's game. It just shouldn't be. And that's why we need the challenge system. We need automated strike zones. Whatever the case is, balls and strikes should not be called by umpires. You want to let them still call outs and safe? Sure. But we have instant replay for that. So there should be instant replay for balls and strikes as well. You should have the challenge system for balls and strikes. And I just, For me, I don't know what it's going to take for Major League Baseball to do this. I think it's going to be implemented next season, but we'll see. And that right there shows it.
This is what comes from letting women drive cars. Doubting Thomas.
We're going to get canceled.
Can we get canceled?
Probably not because we own ourselves. But I mean, some of this stuff, here's what's going to happen. One of us or both of us are going to end up getting famous. We're going to be out somewhere and somebody's going to replay this episode.
Yes.
And then we have to explain ourselves. We're going to get fined hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're going to have to go to women's rights groups and have speeches and tell them how much we love women, which we do.
I'm not doing it, by the way, but okay.
Which we do. But I mean, just be honest about stuff. Like, it's okay to be honest, even when the truth sucks. It's okay to be honest, and the truth sucks sometimes.
I don't care if people are offended. I mean, really, if you're offended, that sucks. But sorry, it doesn't really mean like that much to me. We can go to Mars, but we can't have a hologram strike zone. Really? Yeah. I mean, we have autonomous cars too. We have cars that drive themselves, taxis that drive.
Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth. Weird.
Did we just go into
anyway? let's go. Speaking of lack of heartbeats, let's go to the Chicago White Sox. Actually, we should go to the Cubs for lack of heartbeats, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it, but I need to see this again.
Move just a touch back away from it.
Montgomery gets all of this one. Get out.
That hits
a monster shot from the rookie. His 9th of the season.
That hit the scoreboard.
Dude, that did not hit the scoreboard.
Dude, watch it again. Bring it back up.
It went way back, but it did not hit the scoreboard.
Where'd it go? Bring it back up. Watch the. Don't even watch the ball or look for the ball. Look for the fans in the back and watch their reaction. They look up and they look behind them, and then they look away from them.
Montgomery gets all of this one. Get out. A monster shot from the.
It cannot hit. That scoreboard is like 550 feet.
I'm.
That ball.
That looks. But that ball. Montgomery is good. And if you listen to me this morning on Sunday's bets, congratulations, you won yourself some money because I bet Colson Montgomery to hit a home run today.
It's a good bet right now.
Yeah.
9 home runs already. He's gonna have the most home runs on the team soon.
Yeah. Well, they're also facing a pitcher that has a 726 OPS versus lefties.
Well,
so
there
that's
you
go. But look, I like what the White Sox are doing. I like their team. I think that they're fun to watch right now. Colson Montgomery is a stud. And they, by the middle of next year, you should probably be seeing the same thing that the Red Sox are doing, if not by the end of this year. Same thing, which is why I don't understand why the Cubs don't do more of this too. The Red Sox have a guy that they called up I think shortly before the White Sox called up Colson Montgomery. And what did they do? They just gave him a 10-year extension at I think it was like $120 million. Like, that's what you do. That when guys are going to be good, you lock them up long term for little money. And the teams around here don't do this.
Well, the Sox did do that with bad players. Yohan Moncada, Luis Robert, who else? Eloy Jimenez. I watched Eloy Jimenez hit a home run in the Field of Dreams game because somebody was posted about the Field of Dreams game. He hits a home run and a double in that game. He's the hottest hitter in Major League Baseball at that time. He's not even in the league right now. They gave him a long contract. I don't know if they're still paying him. I think they're done, but they gave him a long contract too. The only long contract that really paid out was Tim Anderson. I know he was bad in the last year of his contract, but pretty much. Sometimes it doesn't work is all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I get it, but sometimes you know what I mean? Like when you're coming up, to Kyle Tucker or Wilson Contreras or I mean, at the time, obviously it looked good, like Javier Baez, that type of stuff. when you're
Kyle
coming up on
Schwarber.
these guys, Kyle Schwarber. Like if they're already, you don't have to worry about it in the long run when they're probably should be getting paid $400 million, and you've already got them locked up for the next 10 years at 120. Like that's the stuff that you need to do. And if you hit some bad ones, fine, you hit some bad ones. I mean, Jed gives out lots of bad contracts, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. He gave out $180 million to a guy who's hitting 120 with runners in scoring position. Sometimes you miss, but you have to keep swinging. We talk about baseball all the time, right? Right now, if you bat 240, you're a good hitter.
Pretty much, yeah. No,
So-
yeah, you can add about 40 points on to any.
Yeah. So if you're hitting the ball 2 times out of 10, you're a good hitter. So if you're getting 2 right out of every 10, at some point you're gonna have a really good team, and it's not gonna cost you a ton to do it. And that's what you got to do. You got to be able to eat those losses. You got to be able to. If you gave whatever you gave to Yohan Moncada, you got to be willing to eat it. You give whatever you give to Luis Robert Jr., you got to be willing to eat it. You got to be willing to walk away for it this year and pay the $2 million opt-out as opposed to the $20 million to play for you next year, which is why I still don't understand why he's on the team.
I
But-
still don't
Yeah.
understand that. I mean, just trade. I mean, I guess maybe they were getting nothing for him. I mean, I'd like to know. Maybe at the end of the season, we'll know more.
But if
about
the
what they were
Phillies were
doing.
offering you their 50th ranked prospect, you take it because it's what I tell people all the time when it comes to anything
That
really.
is nothing.
If I do something and I'm only getting paid $20 for it, well, it's $20 more than I would have got paid if I was sitting at home.
Unless they have delusions of grandeur and they think we might have a chance of competing next year and we want to pick up his option, we'll eat the 20 million. We think we believe in him. They did say they believe in him. Those were I mean, the comments in that article after the trade deadline by Jed Hoyer and by Chris Getz are, I mean, all-time Chicago sports GM idiotic.
Can you imagine? Like, let's say they pay Luis Robert $20 million for next year. And let's say he doesn't, let's not even say he gets hurt, because that's usually the deal with him every other year.
Yeah.
But let's just say he's performing like he is now. You're going to pay $20 million for that? And I know in baseball terms, $20 million isn't a lot of money, but what are you doing? You don't have anything in your farm system you'd rather see? You don't have anything that you would rather call up and put on your roster? But you believe in Luis Robert and you think you might be competitive? Stop. I mean, that's delusion.
I mean, it is. It's total delusion. I'm trying to find I can't believe I can't find the article. But anyway, Jed Hoyer also had a lot of head scratchers in there too. But
Dude,
know,
we're going to
let's-
talk about that in a second because
we're in a second, because when I posted the show today, Ben Catalano said, "Please remind Combs I told him so." And my question to you, Combs, is: are the Cubs going to lose the NL Central?
Yes. And here's why.
I don't agree. And I know there's not many games left, but go on.
Well, here's why. Right now, I don't think the Brewers are losing the rest of the year. Right, the way that it's unbelievable the way that they get an infield hit yesterday to plate a run in that inning where they scored 4 in the 7th, and then they have William Contreras with the tying run on base, and he represents the go-ahead run. Hits a fly ball and flies out. After he hits the ball, he looks back at the umpire and raises his arms. Then the umpire raises his arms like this and says, "Sorry, it was a pitch clock violation." And then on the next pitch, William Contreras hits a go-ahead 3-run home run. Like,
I didn't see that sequence. I know it, but I didn't see that sequence.
Insane to me how they keep
Oh
winning.
my God.
But they keep winning. The Cubs, however, yes, they have been bad since the trade deadline, and we're going to talk about Jed and Carter Hawkins. I swear to God, and they just extended them. We got more of this coming.
Yeah, Jed Hoyer is extended.
But when you are looking at the Cubs and how bad they've been since the trade deadline, in the last 3 weeks, they have been horrid. It has not been good, but they still haven't been swept, still haven't lost more than 3 in a row, and still would be leading in 3 of the other 4 divisions in Major League Baseball. They have the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball still. They are ahead of the Dodgers. They are ahead of the Phillies.
Well,
They are, well, no, I think the percentage points they're ahead because of losses.
okay.
They got the same amount of wins, but you can make up wins. You can't make up losses.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So you got a team that, even though they're struggling, is still one of the best in baseball right now. Now, that's where my ire comes with Jed and Carter Hawkins, and I'm going to try to do this without getting angry and throwing my computer and hitting one of my lovely children that are sitting right in front of me in the back of the head with a computer out of nowhere. For Carter Hawkins to come out and say, well, we have to be as cognizant of the 2032 Cubs as we are of the 2025 Cubs. I hate you. If that is your way of thinking, I don't want you running my baseball team. And for Jed Hoyer, after 2 innings of Mike Soroka and then him coming out of the game because his arm falls off, for you to say, oh, I knew that his velocity was down 4 games than the 4 starts prior to that. I knew there was a possibility of injury. And we still traded for him and overpaid for him anyway. And didn't do anything else to bolster this rotation is insane to me. How does a guy who worked under Theo Epstein for all of those years, who worked under one of the best general managers in baseball history for all of those years, come out and say some stupid shit like this? Like, what are we doing? We knew at the trade deadline that Michael Soroka, oh, great. That if that's all you did, that was stupid. But now, if that's all you did, that was stupid. Now you knew he was hurt. You are an idiot. I don't trust you at all moving forward. And you just got a fucking extension. Like, I don't understand for the life of me what they are doing and what they are thinking. At least with Theo, we knew the plan. We knew what was going on. Theo laid all of his chips out there. He would tell us what was going on. And if Theo Epstein was the general manager of the Chicago Cubs in 2025, you would have had Eugenio Suarez. You would have had some combination of Eugenio Suarez and Mackenzie Gore, or Eugenio Suarez and I'm going to forget his name now, out of Arizona, or Sandy Alcantara and Eugenio's. You would have had that because he had the balls to go out and give up some of his damn prospects to get major league ready talent to go out and win. I listened to a podcast the other day, the Johnny Manziel podcast, because Anthony Rizzo was on it. And Anthony Rizzo talked about when they got in 2016, when they went out and got Aroldis Chapman, the team's mentality in the clubhouse was like, all right, it's go time. And Johnny Manziel follows up with, does that impact how a player thinks in clubhouse? Anthony Rizzo, oh, absolutely. When management says something like that and they go out and they get the guys that can play, that means something. And when they don't, it's like, okay, well, they don't believe in it, so here it is. This is what it is. And that's what you did to your team, and they've been flat ever since. Jed Hoyer has and I can't believe that I'm saying this because I thought Jed Hoyer was a smart baseball guy. Jed Hoyer has no idea how to run a baseball team. Carter Hawkins has no idea. They have no balls to go out and do the things that. So instead, you hung on to prospects. You hung on to 2 outfield prospects. You hung on to 2 middle infield prospects who have nowhere to go but are major league ready. They're 2025 and 2026. And now you got to hold on to them for what? They've got nowhere to go, Jed. And now you've got Michael Soroka on the IL because his arm fell off, and you still have no depth in your rotation. And now we're going to have to sit here and watch Ben Brown try to figure something out for the rest of the year.
with a 6 ERA, and everybody was saying that Soroka's velocity was down. Everybody was saying that, and even if his velocity was up, he walks a lot of guys and he gives up home runs. Jed Hoyer, July 18th, no one's untouchable. July 18th. Then after the deadline, it was a tight market. Very few rental starters. Of the marquee controllable starters, none of them changed hands. We didn't inquire them, but no one else did. Why are you worried about what other people did? I just don't get that. Oh, other people didn't get a marquee starter. Well, the Philadelphia Phillies do not need an ace. Neither do the Mets. Neither do the Dodgers. Blake Snell's back. Like, what are you talking about? He's not even their ace, but what are you even talking about? These other teams were not going to go for Mackenzie Gore. These other teams weren't going for them. I mean, maybe the Padres were. Mason Miller was taken, like we said. Merrill Kelly was taken. Like, there was players taken. Suarez was taken by the fucking Seattle Mariners, and you didn't do anything. Like,
and I hear, I see what Jeremiah is saying. Oh, the Yankees are going to give up a top 100 prospect. Well, you know what? That's also why they've lost 8 of their last 10. You know who did give up a top 100 prospect? You know who gave up the number 3 prospect in all of baseball to go get Mason Miller and a starter from the A's? Is the San Diego Padres.
They're doing
you
pretty
know what
good.
they've done? They've been playing pretty damn well since then. And I don't understand the the market was too much. Okay, fine. If the market's too much, nobody gave up anything for Merrill Kelly. Nobody gave up anything for Shane Bieber. Nobody, and there's no reason why you can tell me that the market is too much to go out and get a Mackenzie Gore who puts you over the top to be a World Series contender in a National League where you were already the best team at the time. There's no reason why guys who are positionally blocked was too much to pay for that. Too much to pay for a World Series?
It doesn't. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, we felt the asking price was something we couldn't do to the future. We made a decision that those prices didn't make sense for us to be as sustainably successful. You're not even successful to begin with. Like, I love how they already think they're at the end line. It's the same time. It's the same thing the White Sox thought in 2021 or after the 2020 shortened season when they were playing well. They were one of the best young teams in baseball. Yes, but they had not been successful yet. And then it's okay to get Tony La Russa in here. Like, it's the same thing the Cubs are doing. We're already successful. You've won nothing. And if you're a wild card team, great. You're in the playoffs. You wouldn't have been 15 years ago. Like, what are you talking about? You've done nothing. You've won nothing yet. What success window? What are you talking about? You've done nothing. This could all evaporate in a year. Well, like, it aggravates me. The Bears do the same damn thing.
It's the Willy Wonka post. You've won nothing. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
And that's where I'm at with this front office. I don't trust Jed. I don't trust Carter. And as long as they're running this team, the Cubs are going to make the playoffs. If it's not winning the division, they're going to win the wild card. So they are going to make the playoffs. They've still got the second best record in the National League. They've got the second best run differential in all of baseball. This team can still hit. This team does still have decent enough pitching to get them through. But they are not a World Series contender. I heard somebody say the other day, I'd rather them have one of the buys in the first round of the playoffs. For what? If they have a first round bye in the playoffs, they're still not a playoff team. If they go into the wild card round, they're still not a World Series team, not a World Series team. They are not a team that is going to come out of the National League. I have zero faith that they're coming out of the National League. And if they do, and if they somehow win a World Series, then maybe I'll give Jed some. Hey, all right, well, maybe you knew something.
He's right.
I still won't admit
that happening.
Yeah, I just still won't admit that the trade for Michael Soroka was a good trade. I still won't admit that it's okay for your general manager to sit, or your president of baseball operations, and Jed, because Carter is the general manager. I still don't don't think that it's okay to sit there and say, yeah, well, we knew there was a chance he was hurt and we knew his velocity was down, so we traded 2 pieces to get him, in which nobody else was going to trade anything to get him. And you traded your 13th and 14th prospect to overpay for Michael Soroka, who you knew was hurt. That's a fireable offense. I would have fired you on the spot if I'm the owner. I don't care if I just extended you or not. Here's your money. Get the hell out of here.
And Jeremiah did make a good point. They don't even take a flyer on Shane Bieber.
Yeah.
The Toronto Blue Jays did that. You don't need a Shane. And I know Shane Bieber's been hurt the last year and a half. I get it. But when his changeup is going, that's another strikeout pitcher. Kelly's another strikeout pitcher. You don't have the strikeouts to I just don't see how in the playoffs this makes you competitive. I just don't see it.
And that's the thing where people are talking about, where you talk about Bruce Levine said, it's just, this pitcher, it's just Merrill Kelly. Well, no, my point is it's just Shota Imanaga, and it's just people are thinking it's just Matthew Boyd. This is what teams are going to be thinking going into a playoff series. Oh, well, who do we got today? Do we got to go up against a number one? Who's starting in the first game of the playoffs? Oh, it's just Shota Imanaga? Okay. Oh, game 2, who we got? Oh, it's just Matthew Boyd? Okay. When I did my home run picks today, you know what? I picked a home run from the Cardinals and Cubs game. You know what I picked? Wilson Contreras, because it's hot and humid in St. Louis, and Shota Imanaga gives up bombs. So that's what I did. And that's the guy who's going to be your number one starter in a playoff series. A guy who's not even in the top 100 in strikeouts. You're going to have Matthew Boyd, who's not even in the top 75 in strikeouts. You're going to have Ben Brown is going to lead your rotation in strikeouts, and he's a spot starter. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? Why? You have to explain this to me to make it make sense. And I don't care who's out there listening. Like, well, who's this guy compared to Jed Hoyer? Who's this guy compared to Carter Hawkins? Well, look at where they're at. Look at where he's at. He's in his basement doing a podcast talking about these guys. These guys are making millions of dollars to run a team. All right, so then I need you who's out there thinking that, or I need Jed Hoyer or Carter Hawkins to talk to me and explain it to me to make it make sense, because I don't think there's a way you can explain it to make it make sense.
Well, they're never going to have to explain it to him, because the Chicago sports media are a bunch of hacks who just want to, I don't know what they want to do, but the price for Gore was Horton, Shaw, Casey, and 2 more prospects. I mean, do we know that for sure?
Done.
Do we know that for sure? I mean, that's a lot of players for one pitcher. I mean, do we know that for sure? I just want to know that for sure. And I don't want a report that was written by Bob Nightingale or another mouthpiece for the Chicago Cubs or the Chicago teams that make them look good, or Bruce Levine. I don't trust those guys.
Well, Jeff Passan said that the price was really high, but even if that's the price,
top prospects.
Yeah. If that's the price, why aren't you done? Why isn't Willie Castro playing third and Shaw is over in Washington right now? Because that right there, if you give up Horton, Shaw, and Casey to get Mackenzie Gore, you are a hell of a lot better of a baseball team right now.
Yes, right now you are. Yeah, you are. You are right now.
It shows your team. It shakes up your clubhouse, and it shows your team you're going for it. And then players are like, "Fuck yeah, we're going for it."
And
so
then, you sign Kyle Tucker in the offseason, unless you as the GM are extended and told we're not paying Kyle Tucker.
They're not paying Kyle Tucker because Kyle Tucker's still going to get $600 million. For all those people that don't think Kyle Tucker's going to get $600 million, I got news for you. Kyle Tucker, regardless of how bad he's been over the last 90 days, he still has a track record of being a guy that is a 10-plus WAR player. He still has that track record. He's going to get 10 years, $600 million. And reportedly, who knows if it's true or who knows if it's not, reportedly he already turned down $500 million from the Cubs on an extension. He wants to test free agent. He's going to get his money. He's going to get paid. And it's probably going to be by the Dodgers.
Oh, my God.
Just say it. Why not? Or it's going to be the Yankees.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I see Kyle Tucker going to the Yankees. I see that being a guy that they could definitely use. A left-handed bat like that, plays a good outfield.
I
Cool
will
outfielder,
immediately
left-handed bat like that is worth. I mean,
Yeah. I vehemently disagree with the combination of a cheap owner. I'm tired of people talking about Ricketts as being a cheap owner. They've spent money. The problem is when you are an owner and you're willing to spend money and you spend money and you keep seeing your GM, which is why it boggles my mind. I don't think it's a cheap owner. I think it's just an owner who doesn't know what he's doing, who is in over his head. I don't think he's cheap. I think he's willing to spend the money, but he keeps a guy in power who clearly doesn't know what he's doing.
isn't that worse? I disagree with you, but isn't that worse? I think he's cheap.
Why do you think it's cheap?
Because he's said it with his comments. I mean, he said it with his words. He said it with his actions. I mean, he's done both of those.
But I've gone over the payrolls
That's
over the last, like, I mean, they spend the same amount of, I mean, there's, if not more, like they have.
They're 11th in spend this year. I mean, I've talked about they're
They're
11th. It's according to Spot Track, they're 11th. And it really doesn't matter. I mean, with a team like this, they should be in the top 5. I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays are outspending them. They're just I disagree. And then they say they're break even. This is not an organization that's breaking even right now. I'm sorry. I don't care what kind of papers or sheets, loss and gain sheets they want to show me. It's just not.
Yeah,
they're not breaking even. Their losses were not biblical during COVID. They've quintupled the price of their team. If they weren't making money, they could borrow against it and get like 1% interest on their money on the loans that they're getting. Like, all of that is bull crap. All of that is bull crap.
They just have an owner who's dumb.
That could be it, and that would be even worse in my mind.
I agree.
But
Bears and Dolphins finished in a 24-all tie, by the way.
That's why the NFL preseason does suck. That was the question. That's the question mark. That's the title of the show today.
No, it doesn't suck. I mean, you don't want to. Why go to overtime for what? A win and loss doesn't matter.
Really, I'm just saying it's. I don't know.
Would you rather see a kickoff? You see if anybody can match that 70. Did you see that kick yesterday? Jacksonville Jaguars kicker in preseason made a 70-yard field goal.
Jeez.
Longest field goal ever recorded, and he made it by like a good 3 or 4 yards. It was incredible.
70-yard field goal?
70-yard field goal yesterday. If it was in a regular season game, it'd been a long. We got in a conversation this morning with
Cody Parkey,
the production staff of BetMGM. Sunday's Bets got into an argument today about whether or not that should count in the record books. And it absolutely should not, because it's a preseason game.
Yes.
And you don't count any stats in a preseason game. But he did make a good point with the difference between a kicker or any other stat is that kickers still got to kick the ball that far. And you're not going up against backups, and you're just going up against the wind, and the goalposts. I mean, I get that point.
Are they trying to block the kick as much? Does he not have to worry about how he's raising it above the defense? Like,
a lot less pressure. And that was my argument. Like, you're not going to, and then what you're going to run into is what else do we start counting? It's just it doesn't make sense to make it count as part of a record. Still a phenomenal feat. Longest made field goal. There have been 8, I believe, in the NFL that have been attempted of 70 or longer. That was the first one that's ever been made at any level of 70 yards or more.
BS price tag on Bregman was too much. Biblical losses.
It wasn't the price
tag and taking the third most. He's more concerned about paying off their hotels.
It wasn't the price tag on Bregman that was too much. It was because they want. This is why it's a problem with Jed Hoyer. It's more of a problem with Jed Hoyer than it is with Tom Ricketts, because Jed Hoyer knew Matt Shaw was going to be the starting third baseman, and he wants to be right. He wants to be the smartest man in the room. So why we don't need to go get Bregman? We've got Matt Shaw. He's going to be a phenom. He's going to be great, and he's been good. He's been a really good defensive third baseman, and he's been okay at the dish over the last 2 months. He had a home run last night against the Cardinals. He had a triple last night because I think he was a single shy or a double shy of the cycle. I like Matt Shaw, don't get me wrong, but that's what Jed Hoyer does. Jed Hoyer wants to be the smartest man in the room. That's why Jed Hoyer, he wanted Michael Soroka to come in and just shine. If Michael Soroka comes in and he finishes that game the other day and he goes 7 innings and he only gives up 1 hit and 1 run, or 1 hit, no runs, or just a few hits and 1 run, he's singing the praises of how smart he is. That's what he wants. It has nothing. This is a Jed Hoyer problem less than it is a Tom Ricketts problem. Is Tom Ricketts still a problem? Yes. But I personally will not go to the point where it's because he won't spend money, because he will spend money, and he's shown that he will spend money. Jed just has to spend it in the right places, and he doesn't. And the problem with Ricketts is that he keeps that guy around, and he just fucking extended him. That's the problem with Ricketts.
Yeah, I can't believe he extended him.
2 of them,
Did
actually.
you send Tom a dick pic? Ricketts might have something on Combs. Is this like the Jeffrey Epstein thing with
No, dude, we've had this argument how many times?
what
It's
were you
an
doing?
argument we've had. I don't, for me personally, it's not because he's cheap. It's because Jed doesn't know baseball. Jed doesn't know who to spend money on. Jed doesn't know what talent is, and it's shown time and time again. I'm sorry, but it has. The fact that Dansby Swanson is the Cubs shortstop instead of Trey Turner is what started it.
They fell too in love with their prospects during the Theo whatever. During the Theo
He's still alive and did in fact not kill himself.
He didn't kill himself. During Theo's reign, they did fall in love too much with their prospects and didn't trade them in time, and then didn't get anything for them. And that was sort of a mess too. But the thing, and I agree with you, with the difference between Theo was willing to make mistakes, to look dumb, to make big swings. Because you do have to do something like that. Like I said, I said this a year and a half ago. The Cubs needed Dombrowski.
And who was the owner during the Theo years?
That was Ricketts. I will agree. He seemed like a different owner at that time.
Who was okay to spend? But it's not a different owner. He was okay to spend the money. He's been okay to tell his GM where to go.
He's
the problem,
okay
I believe,
in areas.
But Jed doesn't want to do that. Jed doesn't want to take the big swing and miss. Jed wants to be smart, and Jed wants to be right. Jed wants to be the guy that stands up and tells you, "I told you so," as opposed to be the guy that says, "Hey, we still need this, this, and this. Let's go fucking get it." And that's the problem that the Cubs have.
Yeah.
There's nothing about spending money at the trade deadline. You're not spending money at the trade deadline. You're trading contracts. The money is insignificant at the trade deadline. Everybody who knows baseball will tell you that. But did Jed go and do anything? No. That has nothing to do with Ricketts. Nothing whatsoever.
I don't know the interrelationships there. Like I said, I just know what the actions are in the comments, and I try to just pay attention to that. And the action is that they're not giving out that big of contracts. They're losing out on a lot of players, and the guy's making comments that are really fucking weird for that he's really not talking to anybody in his PR department. He's making comments that are just ridiculous, that do piss off his fan base and sort of piss off me as well. I'm not even a part of the fan base, and piss off me as well, because you are raking in a lot of money and you're not spending. And if the Cubs spend money, then I'm here to tell you the Sox can't stop spending money, because the Sox have spent a lot of money. The Sox have been a $200 million team many times over the last 10, 15 years. And I'm sorry, if they're spending that much, the Cubs should be spending. The Cubs should never be outspent when they have a team like this by the Toronto Blue Jays. And they shouldn't be outtraded by them either.
Jeremiah says Theo barged into Ricketts' office and said, "We're doing this. That's the difference. Jed won't cross the Ricketts family." Again, you're making my point for me. When Theo barged into Ricketts' office and said we're doing this, they did it. They spent the money. They were okay with doing it. Do I believe that, hey, maybe he's telling, hey, we're not going to spend $600 million on Kyle Tucker? Maybe. But you've got, and you've held on to these prospects for whatever reason. But the problem is that Jed spends the money in the wrong places. Spending the money on Cody Bellinger last year, we applauded it. The $30 million, it was a good deal. $30 million, and then you can let him walk, and you can make up your mind and do whatever you want to do, and we applauded that. And at the end of the day, what was it? It was another team that failed. And Tom doesn't put the team together. Jed does. Tom's not the one. Tom's the one. Excuse me. Tom's the one who, when Jed went to him and said, hey, we need this guy. We need to go get Craig Counsell. Okay, cool. We'll make him the highest paid manager in the history of baseball. Now, I know that that's only $8 million a year, and I understand that. Highest paid manager in all of baseball. It's the history of the game. Because Jed went and said he wanted a guy to do that. Now, do I agree that Craig Counsell is the best manager in baseball? No. Do I think that Craig Counsell hammers too much on the numbers? Absolutely. Did I love everything that Chris Chelios did about tearing him up on Mully and Haw? Yes, I do. But I don't believe that some of the problem, yes, is the Ricketts. But I don't firmly believe that's because he won't spend. Will they spend like the Dodgers? No. No team in baseball will spend like the Dodgers. They just won't. And that's going to be a problem coming.
I'm not asking him to spend like the Dodgers. I mean, I'm asking him to be more in on some of these contracts. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I'm asking when you trade for Kyle Tucker, and then you get rid of Cody Bellinger, and Kyle Tucker looks a lot like Cody Bellinger.
Right, you know that they don't have Kyle Tucker because Kyle Tucker, if the reports are true and they offer Kyle Tucker a $500 million contract, it's not because they're not willing to spend. It's because he doesn't want to be here,
or he wants
a test free agency. He wants $600 million. And if that's the case, and you're going to quabble over the $100 million and whatever, and you could have had him for 10 years, then I might have a problem with that. Sure. But I got to see how it plays out. I got to see what happens. Maybe Kyle Tucker is only going back to Houston. Maybe Kyle Tucker is only going back to the West Coast. Maybe Kyle Tucker is pulling a Shohei Ohtani. We've talked about this before. We don't know that. So we don't know that here's my problem. Why does Jed make that trade if he doesn't already have an agreement in hand?
Yeah, I know. Or knows something more. Yes. Yeah. Why are you giving away those kind of prospects for a rental player?
Which is another Jet problem.
You're okay to do that, but then we move over here. Yeah, and then you get rid of Isaac Paredes and Bellinger, who end up being you're probably the same team with them on the team right now.
Yeah.
And what is it, Cam Smith that they got rid of?
Yeah. I'm okay with the trade. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm fine with it. But where I'm not fine is, why are you making this trade without some promise in hand? Why are you making this trade without knowing, hey, we're going to have a 10-year extension here. We're going to have a 7-year extension here, a 6-year, whatever the case is. Why is that deal not made ahead of time, being like, hey, if I'm going to make this trade, I'm willing to do it, but I need to talk to him and his agent first because I need to know we have a deal in place. That's a Jed problem, not a Tom problem.
So, Dodgers win the World Series again, or
no?
Dodgers come out of
Dodgers aren't even making the World Series.
Are Dodgers winning a series this year? I mean,
they might win a series if they play the Cubs.
Boy, that was going to be my next question.
Here's where I'm at, and I hate this team, and I loathe saying this, but I think the Milwaukee Brewers versus any team in baseball would be the best NLCS that you could watch. It'd be the most fun because of the way that the Brewers score runs and the way that they manufacture runs. They would just be a fun team to watch in the NLCS.
Cut that up and send it to Aaron Ludwig and Ben Catalano.
I know, but it's just, it's the truth. And at the end of the day, when it comes to the NLCS, if the Cubs aren't going to be there or they're not going to be competitive, I want the best baseball possible. And if that's the Milwaukee Brewers, then so be it. Anyway,
we're again. I feel like we're in the same spot with the Cubs.
I do too.
The third season now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, little better. They have played better.
Well, there's a lot of problems with the manager.
We're in the same. It seems like the same team that's starting to run out of gas at the end of a season.
Not only run out of gas at the end of the season, but
manager that's not doing much for your team to trade for assets or even get the assets in an off season.
Or a manager that doesn't understand lineup construction. I mean, it's insane to me. Ever since you've moved Michael Busch into the leadoff spot against right-handed pitching, he's batting 172. Why do you continue to run him out there as your leadoff hitter against right-handed pitching? Put these guys in positions to succeed, and he doesn't do that because he goes off of, well, the analytics tells me, and the analytics tells me, and the analytics. Well, the analytics is wrong. And I don't know if you heard the interview on Mully and Hull last week with Chris Chelios, but Chris Chelios, I mean, he ripped into Craig. He said, he's like, when the numbers don't work, he's like a deer in headlights. He doesn't know what move to make, and he doesn't. And it's insane to me. And those are the things actually that Ben Catalano, when we talked about the managerial move and to bring in Craig Counsell into Chicago out of Milwaukee, that's the one thing he said. He's like, yeah, have fun with that. Wait till you see some of the decisions he makes. He's right.
I mean, and Pat Murphy's kind of funny. I don't know if you've heard a lot of his interviews, manager for the Brewers now.
Yeah.
He's kind of I
hate him. I hate the Brewers almost as much as I hate the Cardinals, but that's a fun team to watch right now.
They are. They're losing right now by a run, but who knows what happens.
They'll find a way to win. They're not losing again for the rest of the year. How many losses they have right now? 37? They're going to finish with 37.
The description of the show says your hair is on fire. Is your crotch on fire?
All right, man. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, I think you're ready. I think you're more than ready.
Oh, I'm freaking.
You look half cooked.
You
look like a medium rare steak.
If you put me in a room right now with Jed and Carter Hawkins, it would not go well. Would not go well. All right. And we had a good show. We talked Bears preseason. Game's over. Ends in 24-24 tie. Some good, some bad. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll hear me talk about it. If you follow BetMGM tonight or Sunday's Bet, you'll hear me talk about it. But we also talked to Cubs, Sox, ranted a bunch, all this other stuff. So till next time, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. See you guys later.